In my almost 92 years on this earth, the good Lord has blessed me with a great journey.
That journey made by Ernie Harwell impacting so many of you and others across our state. You are looking live at Comerica Park right now, where today we get a chance to say our final goodbye to the voice of summer.
24-hour News 8's Joe LaFergie live at Comerica right now. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Brett. Good morning, Emily. The sun is starting to come up here outside of Comerica Park. Let me step out of the way and show you the fans are starting to line up. And 1 hour from now, the gates will open. Ernie Harwell will lie in repose from 7 a.m. until midnight today. Some fans got here early, 11:45 last night, for the first person in line. Bud Somerville of suburban Detroit says he's a lifelong Tiger fan and really a lifelong Ernie Harwell fan.
I got here 11:45 last night, and Ernie brought me here. He's the best guy I've ever met. He's the classiest guy. He's like family.
Bud, summing up the sentiments of a lot of folks here in Michigan on the passing of Ernie Harwell. Now, if you're coming down, we've got some information for you. Comerica Park, they've opened up all the lots along Comerica, and if you've been to a game here, you know that there are 3 major surface lots, 1, 2, and 3. You see the map there. Those will be opened up for the general public. If those fill up, they're saying park on one of the surfaces lots. You can take the people mover in throughout the city of Detroit. Also, some traffic notes to pass along if you're coming from the west side of the state. There's some road construction near Lansing on I-96, so you're going to be down to 1 lane in a couple areas there. And also I-96 in the Novi area. Watch for some bridge work there. Now in Kalamazoo area, the southern tier of our viewing area, you're in pretty good shape once you get east of downtown Kalamazoo. I-94 pretty clear. Now, if you want to share your sentiments, we also have a place set up on our Facebook page, Wood TV 8 Facebook page. You can share your memories of Ernie Harwell as well. We will be here throughout the morning. We're going to be checking with all the folks in line, getting their memories as well, and we'll be checking in with you throughout the morning. Back to you.
Okay, Joe, thank you. We are staying in Detroit all day long. We'll have more live reports throughout daybreak, and then continuing throughout the day on later editions of 24-hour News 8.
So many of us grew up listening to his voice make every Tigers call for more than 40 years from downtown Detroit.
Today, we all get a chance to say goodbye to Ernie Harwell. 24-hour News 8's Joe LaFergie is live at Comerica Park in Detroit this morning, where people are lining up to say farewell. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Emily. Yeah, there are a lot of people expected here today at Comerica to say goodbye to Ernie. We understand his body has arrived here at the park, and the gates will open in just a little under a half hour. A lot of fans pouring out their hearts, pouring out their love for Ernie Harwell. We want to introduce you to a couple of those fans this morning. This is Christine Walford. Christine, you're from the Detroit area here. Tell me about this sign that you've put together and some of the history behind it.
Well, the history of this sign is that it was made in 2002, and we brought it to the stadium here when Ernie called his last game as a broadcaster for the Detroit Tigers.
I said just a moment ago, a lot of love here for Ernie Harwell being shown here today.
Very much so. You can see it all over on the marquees. Everyone's talking about him, and everyone just loved him. And as Al Kaline said the other day, he was the perfect man, and you really don't hear that talked about anybody these days. You know, it's quite an honor.
It is hard to somebody that was that good, that brought so much joy to people as well.
He did, yes.
And Christine, real quick, Christine is from Detroit, but she has a daughter that just graduated
from Grand Valley State
You want to say hi to her this morning?
Good morning, Olivia Walford.
Okay. We are going to be here, thanks Christine. We're going to be here all throughout the morning talking to folks like Christine and the rest of the fans, and we will bring you reports all throughout the day. Back to you.
I know you're talking to fans about their memories of Ernie Harwell, but Joe, you grew up in Michigan. You grew up not too far from Detroit, really, and probably listened to a lot of games voiced by Ernie Harwell. What memories do you have of that?
Yeah, you know, Brett, it's interesting to hear it all week about the kid with the transistor radio, laying in bed at night, hoping mom and dad didn't catch him with an earphone, listening to baseball. And that really sparked a memory for me, because it was like that for myself and so many others. And Ernie Harwell was the voice we heard. He and, of course, Paul Carey, his right-hand man in the booth. That was exciting. And I remember my father bringing me to games over at the old Tiger Stadium. And of course, you were looking for the players. You were hoping to be either by the dugout or the bullpen to see the players, not only from the Tigers, but the opposing teams. But you were also looking for that radio booth to get a glimpse of Ernie Harwell, to actually see the man behind that voice. That was another exciting thing about coming to the ballpark. And you used to walk through Comerica. You see him in the concourse every once in a while. It was such a thrill. I actually got to interview him, probably about 10 years ago out at what was Old Kent Park, Fifth Third Ballpark right now, and talk to the man. It was really an honor to get to actually sit down and talk to him. And he was like you have heard over and over again, just a genuinely nice person. Once you met him, once you talked to him, you felt like he acted like he'd known you forever and you were a friend. Just a wonderful guy.
All right, thank you so much, Joe. We'll look forward to your reports throughout the day. Well, for anybody planning to go to Detroit today, parking will be free in 3 lots near the park. Comerica Park's lots 1 and 2 and 3. And we're on the watch for potential traffic problems between West Michigan and Detroit on I-96 just southeast of Lansing. East and westbound traffic will be pinched to 2 lanes for construction there. Expect a lane shift and slowdowns. Then further east on I-96 in Novi, there are several bridge replacements going on. Traffic will be running slow there in both directions.
We're staying in Detroit all day long today. We'll have more live reports throughout the day across our newscasts on 24 Hour News 8.